This is the orangery of the summer palace. So before, when it was built, it would have been full of beautiful orange trees and lemon trees. There was a big fashion for citrus fruit in those days. But now, it's used for art. And not any old art. This has actually all been organized by a very interesting Polish entrepreneur called Omena Mensa. Now, Omena used to work on television. She was a weather girl at some point, and she used to do property shows. But since then, she has discovered art. And what we have here is a group of works by well-known artists, which she's going to put on sale in June for this great big auction in which they're trying to raise money for a new children's school in Omena's native country of Ghana. So this is a show with fantastic, lofty ambitions. And there are some very interesting things here. If you've got a few million quid in your pocket, look what you can buy. You can buy a Jeff Koons, one of his dogs, or a swan, or a bunny rabbit. Now, they're not cheap, but they're very, very desirable. And outside in the sculpture garden, there's a giant head by Amedeo Modigliani, one of his famous caryatid heads, so you can buy that. There's also a couple of fabulous sculptures by the Spanish maestro Manolo Valdez of these 17th century looking figures that have been reduced and cast in bronze or shiny steel. Very attractive. You might remember them, they were all on show in Venice in St. Mark's Square a few months ago, quite controversially. So, you can buy Jeff Koons, you can buy Amedeo Modigliani, you can buy Manolo Valdez, but also you can buy what I think is Omena's real passion, which is artists of African descent, artists who are based in Africa. And Larry Amponsa, famous art world figure. Everybody wants one of these. Few get the chance to buy one. So if you put your hand in your pocket, find a few million in there, this could be yours as well. Now, Omena hasn't just discovered or rediscovered her African heritage. She's also displayed a powerful passion for it. And one of the other parts of the exhibition, in here, features her collection of African art. So this is work that she herself has been buying. So some are ancient tribal art objects of great beauty, but there's also new paintings, Eddie Omwanga Ilunga, and it's called Still Life, this two figures swapping flowers. But what makes it interesting is that, of course, they got all these electronic boards and chips and bits of stuff in them, which present them not as human beings, but as bits of machinery. So that's a typical African subject matter, I think. This idea that the modern world has become electronic and mechanized. So that's beautiful. Up here, the very famous artist from South Africa, Zanele Muholi. Now, she makes work about herself mostly, identity art, stuff which tells you about the lot of black people in South Africa. But I suppose the most famous artist here is Ibrahim Mahama, who had a big show in London actually recently at the Barbican, and who takes this idea of reusing materials. You get it a lot in African art. Very common basic materials are reused, transformed, turned into art. So for example, Kwaku Yaro here, who's also from Ghana, he makes art out of old bags used up in supermarkets. You see Tesco bag, Sainsbury's bag. And this idea of reuse is something that you find throughout the show. So anyway, these are Omana's private collection works. So this is what she owns. And all this is going towards something bigger, something exciting, something really rather marvelous, which is this. Now, this is a model of a children's school that Omana wants to build in her native Ghana. So it's a beautiful model, but this is what it's all about. This is what all the money's being raised for. This is what the raising of African intelligence and African information's about. This is to try and do something wonderful for Ghana, the young people there, the artists there. And I can't help but admire her. She's really turned everything around, not just in her own personal life, but in these big ambitions that she now has. So there are all sorts of good reasons to come to Poland. You can come for the landscape, you can come for the beautiful buildings, you can come for the excellent food and the exciting people, but now there's a new reason. You can also come for the contemporary art. So come and support Omena Mensah and her plans to give the young people of Ghana a new school. Put some money in the box, and while you're here, just enjoy the things dotted around the palace.